Hello friends, this is Dr. Scott Hagan and welcome to the 5-Minute Leadership Class. I tell leaders regularly that we all have to keep risking, growing, and expanding in our leadership. Why? Because at some point in all our lives, we run out of prior achievements. People don't want to follow our fumes of yesterday, they want to follow our fruitfulness. I can't keep just telling stories of my exploits from years gone by. I can talk about the faithfulness of God, but I need new exploits and new things that God is doing in my life, new manifestations of how He is using my life in order for people to be inspired and to have some sense of authority behind my words. So I have to keep risking, growing, and expanding as a leader because I know I'm going to run out of prior achievements. I need new things in my life. One of the most important disciplines in life in order to keep that risk and expansion going is our ability to listen. I know most people in leadership think listening is a soft skill set and communication is the hard skill set. It's actually the exact opposite. Listening is the hard skill set that we have to master. You know, one of the toughest things in life is to listen well when somebody tells you something you already know. And we live in a day and age because of the internet that everybody believes they know everything ahead of time. So we're not listening well. All listening begins with this. It starts with this phrase that it's rapport before candor. Rapport comes before candor. People will never be able to share their innermost secrets, ideas, or tensions in life unless they believe their relationship with you has a future. I remember when I was young, I sat down with a very powerful leader. I was 20 years old. And as we sat at that table, I had it on my calendar for months. He glanced at his watch. I knew I was bugging him. The way that we communicate rapport is through warmth. It's our ability not just to make eye contact, but to communicate an essence of our being with that person. It puts them at ease. It makes the outsider feel like an insider, which is one of the core, most important competencies of leadership. So I have to be able to present my life in a way that builds rapport, that brings warmth to the individual, because they need to know our relationship has a future. How does that relate to listening? There's a great metaphor or image in history that comes from a Greek word called Midwife, and it's the word for midwife. And this is the idea behind great listening. The idea of the midwife is somebody that comes into a setting of a woman about to give birth. She doesn't bring the baby to the context. She's there to create the conditions and the setting to bring forth the life that is inside the woman giving birth. Midwife listening is the kind of listening that puts the outsider at ease. It communicates warmth and it brings the treasure of what's inside the person you're with. It brings it outside of them. They don't even know fully what that is yet. We have to suspend the rehearsal of our speeches when we're listening to people in leadership, and it's very tough. When we're communicators, when we are responsible for presenting vision and ideas and solutions, it's very difficult to suspend that process mentally and rehearse what we're saying while that other person is talking. Midwife listening, or the art of the midwife, is really there to be patient, to communicate a sense of ease, a sense of warmth, and to be able to bring out of that person the thing that God has put in them. You know, when Samuel was born, he heard a voice in the middle of the night, and he came to Eli, and he said, I'm here listening. He didn't quite know it was the Lord. It says the word of the Lord had not been communicated yet to Samuel. But Samuel in that moment presented himself in a Midwife way. He was one there creating the setting so that what was inside the messenger, in this case the Lord, could come forth. He wasn't there to tell the Lord what was inside him as a great executive listener. It's not my job to sit at the table and communicate what I've rehearsed to everybody. I've got to be able to put that person at ease. So how do we bring rapport and warmth into the relationships, and how do we know if we've been a person who listens well? Very simple test. Does the person who's listened to us or we've talked with, do they believe that the relationship has a future? If they walk away from that table knowing that the relationship has a future, then you've listened well. God bless you guys.